Right, we're using 5 colours here: gamboge, a vivid green, alizarin, ultramarine and a violet. And I've wet the paper. Now this is a smooth paper, what they call hot press, so it hasn't got a lot of tooth to it, so the colour does run quite well on it. So I've damped the paper and I start with the lightest colour, which is the gamboge. And just stroking a few bits in like that, making this an abstract one, so I have no idea what's going to happen, just like the colours, the way they run into one another, so we're sort of mixing them on the page. We'll decide what to do with it when it's done. Now we put a bit of red at the bottom. Always good. And where the red mixes with the yellow, of course it's going to orange. And it's quite strong. So the wash is quite light. We're using the gravity to pull the colour down. And seeing where it goes. There we are. This is just a simplest little thing. I know I stressed the simple thing. Now I've got the spray again. Now the best way of doing these, of course, is to hold it flat like that, because then you can control. So I'll turn it down there. You control the way it runs. Let that run down to its full extent, the red, and then put it back up and see what's happening here, you see. So now we can do something. So what should we do? Now I've got the ultramarine, and it is a very, very strong colour. That's what I'm using. So it's almost neat from the palette, from the tube. And we're just going to do something quite loose. All done freehand. You can draw these on if you want. There we are, the shape of a bird. But I like the way it runs down. So I'm splashing it with water, clear water. The purple at the top, the violet, quite a strong one, this one. And it does lend itself to the water and the bleeds on it. We want to do something, we want to try and make this like it's got some movement in it. So I'm using the inch brush, I'm squeezing the brush so it's almost dry. And just make it, see, by coming up through the colour, you can see the colours coming in here. You can dip it in the colour if you feel. So I've just dipped it in the red. And the movement upwards, because this is oblong, I do like the oblong shape, and because using the oblong shape, just mixing a bit of green onto the brush, doing it this way, you are getting that movement going up, like the bird. It's flying through the air, stirring the air up, putting colour into the air with the fact that it's flying about. Bit more spray at the top there, in the middle and in the bottom. Now what happens is the spray goes on, but because it's at an angle, the water's going to run down. If you want the spray, the drops to stay, then you have to have it flat. And the other way to move colour about is with the hairdryer. And just putting it on can push the water down, push it up even. But you do lose the bleeds. The bleeds is when the water, clear water or the colour, touches another and you get a little bleed. So I've got the flat brush loaded with water. And just moving it down through the colour. And even to giving it a quick, starting at the top here. This is a good way to move the colour about. You do make a mess though, but that doesn't matter. Now I'm losing the bird there. So we're just seeing, I don't know whether the camera can pick out what's happening down below here. And how the colour's bleeding, going down to the bird. Now, what I would do is let that dry. Then pick up the shape of the bird, not a dead line, straight line, but little bits to give more of a shape. And possibly, when it's a bit dry, put a few more streaks in there. Try it with the dry brush. Just a swirl up and down. This is drying all the time, so there's bits of this which will probably nearly be dry. There we are. Just put some little bits in there. But we'll leave it. The tendency is to fiddle with it, and I don't want to fiddle with it. I'll just leave it. So I've done just a little bit more on this now. I've dried it off with a hairdryer. I've picked out some of the bits here to make the line slightly stronger here, and a bit on the tail, and a bit more spray to give the bleeds a little bit more of an effect, like on this bit down here. There we are, the bluebird.